the record in the matter 24 CF 252, State of Wisconsin versus Andrew Sonnenberg. The state appears through Assistant District Attorney Kevin Schmidt in person. We have Mr. Sonnenberg, who is appearing in person in custody without counsel. We're set here today on two matters, well, actually three matters, Mr. Sonnenberg. One is a return on warrant. An arrest warrant was issued, a warrant for your arrest.
All right, everyone buckle up because this case is a wild one. Judge Mag is back, bringing her signature no-nonsense energy. As for today's defendant, well, let's just say he didn't exactly show up prepared. In fact, he arrived completely empty-handed, unless you count his legal counsel.
For a body only. You were arrested, you are here, your body is present, and so the court is going to quash that warrant. And the second thing is now for the court to set bail and get bond conditions. And the third thing is an initial appearance. I have to do two of those three things, but the initial appearance, I can either continue today or I can adjourn it to a different day and allow you to apply for a public defender or retain your own private attorney so that you can have an attorney with you at that initial appearance date. Because you have 5 charges against you. One is first-degree recklessly endangering safety and F felony, use of a dangerous weapon. The second is resisting or obstructing an officer, an A misdemeanor, as a repeater. The third is violating an harassment restraining order, a U misdemeanor. The fourth is criminal trespass to a dwelling, an A misdemeanor. The violating restraining order, U misdemeanor, is a repeater and has a domestic abuse enhancer. The fourth criminal charge is criminal trespass to a dwelling, an A misdemeanor.
5 charges, including repeat offenses and domestic abuse enhancers. That's more than just a rap sheet. It's a full-blown red flag factory. And here's the kicker. He's decided to represent himself. This could spiral out of control faster than a grease gap.
As a repeater and with a domestic abuse enhancer. Count 5 is disorderly conduct, a B misdemeanor, as a repeater and with the domestic abuse enhancer. So there are 5 serious charges against you. So either we can go through and have the initial appearance here today by yourself with you representing yourself, or you have the option to say, you know what, Judge, I want to and I need to apply for a public defender and I'd like to have an attorney with me. So please set that for another day so I can have an attorney with me. So you can either do it yourself or I can move it to another day. Okay? All right. So do you know what you wish to do? Would you like to move forward with your initial appearance here today, or would you like me to move it to another date and time?
I'd like to move forward.
You would like to move forward and set it for a preliminary hearing, because that's what I'm going to need to do, because it has a felony, and with a preliminary hearing, I'm going to need to set it, and it's going to need to be within like 10 days. Your next hearing.
I'll just go forward with me represent myself as today so I can get bond.
Oh, I'm going to set bond anyway.
Oh, okay.
Bond will be set.
Okay.
So I'll set, why don't we do that first? We'll set bail first, then I'll ask you that question. All right, Mr. Schmidt, argument and bail recommendation, please.
I would ask for a bond of $50,000 cash. In terms of failed appearances, he doesn't have that many. The last one I can find is from 2023 in a Polk County disorderly conduct case. Big reason for that is there's a huge gap in his state criminal history because he served a very long federal prison sentence related to a drug conspiracy. This case, the reason I'm asking for the high cash bond has primarily to do with his state as well as what the actual conduct was at the scene. There's body cam in this case that depicts officers arriving at scene at a residence on a domestic call. The residence they're approaching has a small deck that kind of just goes around a single door entrance. It's like a split level where you go up a staircase, but it's a very long staircase. So it's almost like it goes straight to the second floor. The victim of the domestic comes out, tells police he has a knife. From the body cam, you see the officers approach the door. They see Mr. Sonnenberg at the top of the stairs. Mr. Sonnenberg charges down the stairs. Officer Zajac braces against the outer storm door, which is one of those flimsy kind of doors. It's got two window panes right there in the middle. He braces against it as Mr. Sonnenberg crashes against the door. Mr. Sonnenberg then tries to shoulder his way out of the door. You can see through the windows in the door, Mr. Sonnenberg is holding three items. He's holding two knives and a flashlight. Mr. Sonnenberg is seen on the body cam adjusting his grip, making it so that in his left hand, he has a knife where the knife is coming straight up like that. And the right hand, he adjusts it so the knife is going straight down, flashlight straight up on the right hand. He then tries to stab through the window towards Officer Zajac.
Did anyone else just freeze picturing that scene? Two knives, one flashlight. It sounds like something pulled straight from a horror movie. This isn't just criminal behavior. It's dangerously cinematic.
The knife isn't aimed towards the center of the pane. Officer Zajac's head is close to the window pane on the weather door. It comes within, I'd say, centimeters or inches, but does not get through the glass. Officer Zajac retreats after Mr. Sonnenberg tries to stab through the door. Mr. Sonnenberg charges out the door, dual fisting the two knives when officers fire upon Mr. Sonnenberg. Mr. Sonnenberg is so intoxicated at this point that he can't identify to officers where he was shot when they're trying to administer first aid. When the officers ask why Mr. Sonnenberg was doing what he was doing, he said he just wanted to die. He makes statements indicative of wanting to commit death by police. The domestic victims also make statements that he said he's wanted to do that in the past before. The state is of grave concern here because, one, this came so close to causing great bodily harm or death to Officer Zajac.
This right here changes everything. What initially appeared to be a violent assault might actually have been a suicide setup. Let that sink in. The case has suddenly taken a deeply tragic and heartbreaking turn.
To the state that Mr. Sonnenberg was in with the intoxication. When they talked with the person he was with prior that evening, how much he drank, she said he drank 2 liters of vodka before heading there just that day. The domestic angle is highly concerning. This victim has been a victim of domestic violence with Mr. Sonnenberg in the past. He wasn't even supposed to be there. There was a restraining order. That's why she called the police initially. That's part of the charge there. With the domestic angle, with the high-level intoxication, with the aggressive instant act of violence towards law enforcement, I think the high cash is necessary to protect the community. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Sonnenberg, I'm now going to turn to you. You have an opportunity to argue to me against what Mr. Schmidt has argued for bond and bail. So is there anything that you would like me to know?
Yeah, I do not remember, but I drank a half a gallon of vodka, and I don't usually do that. That was my first time ever drinking vodka like that. I usually drink teas, but when I get into it with my family, I intend to take myself out and self-indulge, and I know that's not right because I need help, and I don't know, I'm not the one to ask for help, but now I know that I need help because I'm here. Otherwise, I could have died. I don't remember none of that. All I remember is thinking that her cousins were coming over. Her cousins be shooting guns next door, the little guys. That's what I thought had in my mind. But in time, in court, my sisters and my family will come tell you that I try to ask for help because I call on myself. That's why I got.
He actually called the police on himself because he didn't feel safe. That completely flips the narrative. Could this entire situation be a desperate cry for help buried beneath all the chaos? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
There's to calling on myself to have the cops come because I feel safety, and that's why I got priors in Polk County, because in order for them to let me inside, they have to charge me. And I didn't care because that's what I thought. My life was in danger outside of here, you know. But what my dad and them guys said to me, you know. And I haven't had help with my mind from my 2006 accident because I got lacerations and I had a head injury in 2006. In 2007, I go to jail. In 2008, I get indicted to 17 years. So I never had the proper things to go with my mind. And when I get drunk, I go back to a mentality like I'm in a cell again, back to USP Florence. And that's where my trauma happens. In the USP Florence, the natives would give you knives to hang on because that's the part of life in there. And that's embedded in me because that's how I had to live. And I don't intend to hurt nobody. I just hurt me and my daughter, you know. And back in the day, I'm labeled already. I got charged for attempted murder back in the day, and I was the one that got stabbed. You know. Then they took my brother because he was eating a hot dog and a ketchup dropped on his boot. They took him too for attempted murder. It went from attempted murder all the way down to disorderly conduct, time served. So I'm labeled out the gate.
Stigmatized by a broken system or simply the result of broken choices. Either way, his trauma is undeniably real. But the question remains, does that excuse what happened that night? The courtroom is listening. Are you?
Still labeled. When I was getting out the hospital in Ramsey County, I didn't know they were coming and they're calling me a cop killer and they're pushing me. And I was like, man, I can't barely walk. You know, it's on recording. So when I get down here to booking, I take 5 steps and the booking officer says to go take your scan or whatever. And he makes the remark saying, oh, sorry, we jumped the gun. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, why would you say that to me, man? You know what I mean? He's labeling me. So I'm always getting labeled, but I haven't had the proper help to go seek my damage to my dome. And then.
And at a bail hearing, you have the ability to say anything that you want to say. I'm just going to caution you now because you're going from your past. Now you're going into the actual incident itself and the things that happened afterwards. And I want to caution you because anything that you say in here can be used against you in the case against you. Okay. Not that I'm saying that you've said anything that